Hello, it is Sunday, April 6th, 2025. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Sunday crossword today, which means we're going to be solving a big themed grid, and we can see some evidence of the theme in the puzzle. It almost looks like we've got sort of railway turntables or trolley turnarounds in there. Curious to know what that's about. I suspect we'll have some words that switch direction. It makes sense with the title. Anyway, we'll find out what that's all about soon enough. And this turning edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Casey Brandt, Michael, and, as always, the indomitable Showmaster and the indefinable Charlie Paget. Thank you so much to the four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel, keeping it going day by day. I'm very grateful to them for their support, as I am to the support of all patrons at any level. And so thank you so much if you're among that group. And if you'd like to do so, you can head to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the description field link. You'll find the bonus videos there. That includes this week's mini puzzle pseudo speed solve, which went up yesterday. Sorry, that was a day late, but it's up there now. And all of the other Boss Words puzzles that have been going up recently as well, of course. So thanks to everybody who does support the channel in that manner. And thanks if you subscribe on YouTube as well. Of course, that's a big help. And finally, there's the Daily Solve Discord chat server, a nice friendly chat community linked in the description field. All right, let's get right on to this intriguing looking puzzle entitled Course Correction. It's a construction of Kareem Ayas, who's constructed around half a dozen puzzles for the New York Times. It was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Let's start solving. I kind of want to look at these immediately. Genre of the 2024 film Bob Marley, One Love. Biopic, basically. Let's see if that works. What's interesting is that I don't see how this... Well, oh, I see. Maybe it rotates and then interacts with these answers. I'm trying to think what this could do. It really looks like a railway turnaround to me. You know, those huge discs on which a train car can roll and then be rotated around so it faces the other direction without needing to go around a sort of loop or to reverse around a kind of triangular track intersection. So let's see. Oh, what's the point? Okay, I don't know. Alternative, yeah, I can't see what's going on. So yeah, it looks to me like this is meant to rotate at a 90-degree angle. Well, rotate 90 degrees, I should say, around the center point, the eye. But maybe that's not what's going on. I don't know. Let's try and cross some things against biopic. Tourney sponsor since 1939. No idea about that. Uses one's employee badge to enter. Scans in. Seems plausible. Light short-sleeved collared garment. Light short-sleeved collared garment. A polo shirt or something? Not sure. Blank Explorer, classic web browser. MSN Explorer, that was a Microsoft web browser. I think that's right, MSN Explorer. Microsoft Network Explorer, I guess. Tourney spot. Oh, the NCAA? The kind of university-level sports organization? That would make sense. Gets caught on snags. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then the on in parentheses means we apply it both to the clue and the answer. So gets caught on, snags on. Okay, so what? Oh, hemp shirt maybe? Light short sleeve collar garment? I don't know. I don't know if that's actually right. Madison Avenue exec, an ad man maybe? Advertising executive? I don't know if they're even still all headquartered on Madison Avenue, but that was true traditionally, hence Mad Men as a term, and then the title of that show. Great show. Look like is to seem like, and we've got another parenthetical there. Oh, what's the point? Oh, I also, sorry, I hadn't noticed there was an asterisk here. So that probably is related to the theme. So maybe this thing does rotate around. What cuteness tends to evoke? Oz, maybe? Not sure if that's right. At bay, say. A sea, oops. If you're at bay, you're sort of maybe on a ship on the water, you're a sea. If you're literally in a bay, I'm not sure that's right. That's all she wrote, goes the phrase. There we go. Just to mean kind of, well, it's all over now. And ophthalmologists work an eye exam or eye test or something. Oh, I see this. It's why do I bother? It does rotate the little bio bit here. Okay, so why do, and then we have the D, then the O, then the I, then the B, and then this is other, and that answers this clue, which is alternative. Oh, that's very well done. So sometimes in a puzzle like this, in this answer, you would have, sorry, in this clue, I should say, you might just have a dash, and that just indicates, well, it's being clued by some other continuation from earlier, and you wouldn't have its own clue. But here it actually solves it's actually a valid clue and answer on its own, even though it's also part of this longer phrase, why do I bother, clued by, oh, what's the point? So that's very nice. Okay, so these are all going to rotate. Presumably they're all going to rotate either 90 or 270 degrees. But we'll find out. So ophthalmologists work care. That's probably what it is. Eye care. All right. And then light short sleeve collared garment. Camp shirt? I don't know what that is. Is that right? Greedy person's choice. Well, they might want both, not one or the other. One directive in preparing a turkey. You might baste a turkey. It's part of the cooking process. Pieces of the heart could be atria. Yeah, you've got the different chambers of the heart, the atria. Blank Chisholm, first black woman elected to Congress. Shirley, is that right? Hears in a way. Yes, if you hear a case, you try a case. I think that's right. Sounds of hesitation could be ers, Caddy's appointment, tea time, so a golf caddy. And to get straight is to align something. So yeah, this does look like Shirley, doesn't it? And then voids, empties out or empty spaces or something like that. Voids could be a verb or a noun, so I'm not sure which it is, but let's look at this one. Post-mortem order. Ooh, not sure. Does it mean sort of a biological post-mortem? You're inspecting a body? Ringing endorsements, question mark. It's a pun, but I'm not sure. Let's just keep solving the things around here. Right, so voids is probably empty something. So there's probably a Y either here or here. I don't yet know if these all rotate in the same way. They could rotate 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. And I'm not sure we know that they all work the same way. In the case of 5 down, it rotates 90 degrees clockwise, but that might not be the same. Although, if it were the same, that would put a Y here, which, well, I suppose it wouldn't necessarily, because voids could be, it could be empties out, so it could be TI. It's funny that I can use the left and right arrows to get into this area from over here. I can go into it there, but I can't get out again. I suppose because this isn't an across answer that would allow left and right. Okay. Break before college. You might take a gap year before going to university after finishing secondary school, high school. Sounds in massage parlors are ahs. And traffic marker is a pylon, maybe? You've got little pylons indicating, maybe a temporary lane arrangement or something. Like some mindless entertainment. Trashy, perhaps? And I think we've looked at all those crosses. Floor, to stun someone to floor them, or maybe it could be the floor, the lowest possibility. Not sure. Iowa College Town, right, it's Ames. I think Ames came up a week or two ago, and I mentioned that I think I mainly know it from a video produced by some staff members of whatever college that was from the sort of, pre-YouTube internet era. Anyway, masseur's employee. I suppose masseur might be employed by a spa. And then, por favor, please, in Spanish. Part of the funny page. Oh, right, okay. Oh, interesting. So, right, this works exactly the same as this, right? And so it has an asterisk, presumably. Yes, it does. Okay, so this will be a comic strip or something, and it will need this 53 across little turntable bit to contain the IC at least part. Let's see, descendants. So the C goes in the middle either way, and then the I goes at the beginning or the end here. Descendants. Yeah, okay, scions. There we go. So this actually rotates 90 degrees counterclockwise. So they are not all the same. So that's good to know. So comic strip then, probably. Oops. There we go. And to set off as an alarm would be to trip the alarm. So there we go. We've also correctly filled in this answer. Okay, Amazon Handmade competitor. So Amazon Handmade, I think I've only seen it referenced in the crossword a couple times now, but as a competitor to Etsy. But yeah, presumably, homemade goods sold through it. As the name suggests, floor. Oh, a floor of a building is a story of a building. There we go. That's what that is. And then a bit of casino equipment is. I don't know. What would this be? Casino might use dice or chips or cards or I don't know what else. Retrovirus molecule, RNA. There we go. Ribonucleic acid, I guess. What's the bit of casino equipment? I don't know. Invites to a movie, say. Asks out. Yeah, okay. And then, a rake. Right, okay, for the croupier, I guess, to sort of bring in the chips from the table. Okay, grandiloquent. Grandiloquent would be, does this go down here? No, I don't think it does, because this'll come from 99 across. Yes, it will, okay. Grandiloquent. So if you're grandiloquent, you sort of speak in florid language at great length and eloquence. What would this be? Epic? It doesn't seem quite right to me. Oh, right, look, we've got another element of the theme here. I didn't expect that. Intense cycling sessions, or what you must do to complete the answers to this puzzle's starred clues. Right, is this sort of like an interval training thing, or what's that called? Intense cycling sessions. Or what you must do to complete the answers to this puzzle's starred clues. I'm not sure what that's about. It's an affront. A slap would be an affront. Preschool basics, the ABCs, words of remembrance, an obit, an obituary, written in honor of someone's passing. Trial program, not sure. Account. Work hard. Toil. Grandiloquent, I don't know. Types, ilks, kinds, sorts. Oh, spin sessions or spin cycle or something like that. Spin cycles? No, spin classes? Oh, whoa, I didn't pick up on that. Right, bio, sci. These are names of classes, of courses you could take, biology, science. Right, so maybe we'll have Sci for psychology, Eng maybe for English. Right, Alge maybe for algebra, who knows? Wow, okay, this is very involved. Okay, so yeah, we're spinning these classes. That's good. Didn't see that coming at all. Trial program is a pilot, so you might have a pilot episode of a television program. An account, a tale, a story, an account. Star turn often is solo. You start your star turn, your kind of featured bit. Cousin of kinda sorta. Beach bird is a turn. There we go. Classic crossword beach bird. Shade of green, neon green, maybe. Not sure that's right, but let's look. You might walk on this at night. You might walk on tiptoe. I don't think this is right. Shade of green. I don't know. Maybe I'll delete that. Lime green? Surely turn. I'll delete that just because I'm not certain what's going on here. We'll come back to it. AC capacity. Amps or something? Alternating current capacity. Whale. Student transcript figures, that's appropriate to this grid. GPAs, grade point averages. Whale, don't know still. They're just for openers. Intro, you might have an intro if you're opening a ceremony or something. And then whale. I don't know what that is. Oh, I misspelled intros. Sorry, that was silly. To whale is to sob. That's okay. That's very straightforward. So AC capacity. Oh, BTUs. It's not alternating current. It's air conditioning. So BTUs, British thermal units, to measure heat. Okay. So bit of curling equipment is the stone. So in the sport of curling, the stone that you kind of propel. Part of one's history, say. Parts of one's history. Ends with an S, presumably. Oh, URLs, so browser history, so the websites you visited. Chromite and hematite are ores, metal ores, presumably. And then word before milk or over. Skim milk or skim over, right? If you could have skim milk, fat-free milk, or you could skim over a piece of text. Okay, Wayne's World or MacGruber informally. Oh, these are SNL skits that I think both. I mean, Wayne's World certainly became a film, and I think MacGruber did as well. Actually, I have not seen either of those, believe it or not. I never saw Wayne's World somehow. Okay, bestow as a quality to. Oh, and this will go into here. So to, and it'll be the name of the last bits here will be an abbreviation of a course. I don't know offhand. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame architect, I.M. Pei. Certainly I would say the official architect of the New York Times crossword, I.M. Pei. Bestow as a quality, imprint or looks like im something. Texter's qualification. Yeah, so texter could qualify something by saying, well, in my opinion at least. So to bestow as a quality, to impart. There we go, art class. I was trying to think of an abbreviation, but this one doesn't need it, so fair enough. My word, I say. So what about this then? Like restaurants in a famed dining guide, Michelin starred or something. I can kind of see how we'd get to star. No, actually I don't. This wouldn't be I say. Maybe it isn't? Michelin star or starred or no. I don't know. Don't know what that is. I assume we're talking about the Michelin guide. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're talking about a different dining guide. Testing humor's boundaries. Edgy, maybe? Edgy humor? That's probably as I say. Binding agent in baking. I don't know. Oh, no, I do. It's egg, of course. Egg is used as a binding agent in baking. So what is... Okay, this isn't... I don't think it is Michelin. What is this? Oh, Zagat? Zagat? Yeah, that's what it is. Which I think was acquired by Google and has kind of faded away as a result. So, yeah, kind of a former sort of institution that I think has largely declined. But maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But that's the sense I got. Anyway, Zagat rated. There we go. I think it was rated for the... I think it was named for the surname of the couple who founded it, I believe. Okay, dirtball, sleaze. Young fellow, a lad. Events for bargain hunters. Something sales. Counterpart of thanks, please, and thanks. Sources of some syrup. Apples, I guess? Apple syrup, I suppose. Is that right? Nails. If you nail someone, you sort of peg them. You kind of, you've identified them. Cloying sentimentality. I don't know. Events for bargain hunters. Oh, something tag sales? Red tag sales? Is that a thing? It sort of sounds familiar. Maybe that's right. Actress, oh no, that's wrong. I think it's still probably tag sales. But actress Gadot, Gal Gadot, is an actress. So events for bargain hunters. Maybe it's not tag. Maybe it's not that. Stereotypical squirrel's stash. Acorns is what a squirrel might stereotypically stash away. Plentio would be Lotta or Lotsa. Don't know which I think is more likely. Pointy parts of a Batman costume would be Batman's ears. So Lotsa. And then blank tiles, kids building toy. Don't think I recognize that. Oh, garage sales? No. Event. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's pins for nails. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it is garage sales. Nails. I don't know. Blank tiles. Okay, maybe that's still wrong. That doesn't. The tiles thing doesn't look good. We'll have to come back to that. Mexican dish with ají. A fish taco, I guess. Could be as simple as that. Cloying sentimentality. No. Tripe. Utter rot or total rot, something like that. Just nonsense. Balderdash. This does look like garage sale, doesn't it? So what's this? Blank tiles, kids building toy. Oh, this isn't apples, it's maples. It's maple syrup, the maple tree. Magnet tiles, it must be. So they must be magnetic. That must be what's going on there. And then cloying sentimentality is treacle. There we go. So, physical substance, a food substance, but also used metaphorically. So nails, aces, right? You nailed the test. You aced it. Okay. So tripe is maybe, okay, so with that R, maybe utter rot. And then honey, I don't know, maybe this isn't fish taco? Tuna taco? Never heard the phrase tuna taco said that with those exact words, but could be. Yeah, because honey is bay. Wow, okay. So tuna taco, I wonder if that's the first time that's been in the New York Times crossword. I bet it is, but who knows. Tiny exemplars of collaboration, ants, they work together. And post-mortem order is cut them up or something? No, that seems a bit crass. One-time Volvo competitor, Saab. Post-mortem order. Oh, an autopsy. Right, okay. Yeah, so you're conducting a post-mortem, and as part of that, you do an autopsy on the body. Okay, so we do have psychology, which was one of the things I suspected might be in here. And then, I think I forgot about this entirely. Yeah, I did. I forgot about voids, empty spaces. So there we go. So we did have the Y here, and then aces well, aces is nails. Okay. So ringing endorsements, I do's, I suppose. Yes, because then there's a ring. I say I do. You get married. Wall support, you could have you could hang a picture or something by nailing the hook into a stud in the wall. Okay, so we've done the top half of the puzzle. There we go. So we can actually move right on down here. 1980s TV star in the WWE Hall of Fame. Is it Mr. T, probably? Famous wrestling / actor figure. First responders for short, EMTs, emergency medical technicians. Member of La Familia, Tia, your aunt. I guess it could be Tio, your uncle as well. Be up on the latest no, but it does look like this. It looks like to be up on the latest news is to stay informed or something like that. No, that doesn't fit, but it stays something. So adware detection program, a spy bot, I guess, probably. And like some stems and situations. I don't know. Throws informally. Probably ends with an S. Moved like a crab, sidled. Crabs can, move in a sideways motion. And then grandiloquent, it does look like epic, doesn't it? So throws informally. Hucks? What is that? I actually don't know what this is. Like some stems and situations. Thorny? Yeah, okay. A flower's stem could be thorny, or it could have a thorny situation. So that was Hucks. Okay. So beach bird, right, we're back to this. This is where I gave up on this part of the grid. This looks like tiptoe. Yes, you might walk on tiptoe at night. That's what I had before. I think that must be correct. So shade of green, I don't know. Brown beer, some kind of ale. Dark ale, I guess that would be. So shade of green. Nile green? Is that a shade of green? That would work with turn. Chinese two-stringed fiddle. Oh, what's this called? I don't remember what this is called. That's annoying. You see people playing them on the street sometimes. Blank Jackson. Oh, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I've seen the existence of this sort of children's fantasy series. Chinese two-string fiddle. What is that called? Satisfied. If conditions were satisfied, the conditions were met. And what colon might mean? It might be is to in an analogy. So you might say A is to B as C is to D, and the is to would be represented by a colon. So tense parts of games for short, overtimes, OTs. To find something amusing might be to smile at it. And canine teeth are cuspids. That's a tooth name. Let's see if that works. Chiromancers read them. Chiromancy is palm reading, so reading the lines on your palm. So, oops. Pita dip made from chickpeas and tahini hummus. And so music is another subject there. There we go. That's what I studied. And that will then rotate in some direction, and we will have a recap, a summary, it looks like, because we could have SUMMARY, so a brief summary, maybe? Something like that. Many email, yeah, that looks good, because many email attachments could be PDFs, portable document format, I think. That's what that is. So hardcore features informally, and hardcore is written not as a single word, hardcore, but rather two, so it's a bit of a misdirection. You'd think it maybe means, hardcore, sort of intense or something, but no, it's your core of your body, so abs, abdominal muscles. And historic Vegas casino where the Rat Pack performed. Sands? That's a Las Vegas casino, I think. Is that maybe where they performed? I didn't know that, but it could be right. Let's see if it works. Tax-advantaged savings plan. A Roth IRA, there we go. So we very frequently refer to an IRA in the New York Times crossword, but today we're referring to a Roth IRA, which is, what is it? Is it a Roth IRA? I think a Roth, I could be getting this completely backwards, so I'm sorry if so. I think a Roth IRA, okay, I can't remember which way it goes. An IRA, one of the two, an IRA and Roth IRA, one of them is you put the money in before you get taxed on it, and then you have to pay taxes when you eventually take it out. I think that's the Roth IRA. And then the other one is you pay the taxes on it before you put it in, but then you don't get taxed on it later. You don't get taxed on the gains. Okay, anyway, incorporate before shaping and baking, say. Knead in? Yes, if you knead an ingredient into the dough, you kind of knead it in before shaping it and baking it. So there we go. If you gave support, you aided someone. Distance divided by time would be your speed. And toy with one's, which you might learn that in a class that we've not yet presented here. Let's see if the last one ends up being mathematical in some way. Toy with one's food, perhaps. A Happy Meal, McDonald's Happy Meal, you get a toy. Okay, to bring into play is to use something. Erhu, there we go. That's the Chinese two-stringed fiddle, which I completely failed to remember. And blue, in a way, might be lewd, right? So blue in the sense of kind of racy, ribald or something. Like some humor. It could be wry humor, kind of dry humor. And to turn to ash, perhaps, could be die? Turn to ash. Affliction treated with a hot compress. You could have a sty in your eye, for instance, and you try and lessen the pain with a hot compress. So why is dye turned to ash? I mean, I guess in the sense that you can turn, plant matter or something into ash, and literally into ash, and that will make it a dye that you could then use to color, paint or ink or something. So maybe that's it, or clothing. Okay, so word before rain or wash. Acid rain, acid wash, those are both phrases, okay. And itty bitty could be itsy bitsy, so I'll leave that bit blank. Chinese fruits with leathery rinds. Probably ends with an S at least. Like 1, 2, 3 would be easy. And then this will be our last theme entry, I think. Number with 18 zeros. Something Ilian. So presumably there will be an I and then an L at the beginning or end of this. Oh, lychees. There are various different ways you can transliterate this word. Sort of Romanize it, but I think I've seen it spelled this way. Does that help with this? Something Tillian. Quintillion, maybe? I don't know what a number with 18 zeros is. Oh, and here's lit. Here's literature. So we didn't end up with, we did not end up with a mathematical one. All right. So one's suddenly canceling plans. I don't know. Flakes, what would it be with a B? Not sure. Lincoln or Ford, those are examples of car makes. Number with 18 zeros. Yeah, right. We saw that. Be up on the latest news. Stay current. Okay. So that makes this look plausible as a cue. Quintillion. Let's see if that works. One's suddenly canceling plans. Bailers. They're bailing out on your plans. And then if you're built like the Hulk, you're burly, I suppose. Big, muscular person. Allotments are, don't know. Apathetic is blasé, maybe? If you're blasé about something, you're kind of apathetic about it. You don't have much of an opinion. Legend has it lore. Legend, lore, oral history. So allotments are quotas. There we go. There could be a given quota, a given allotment, an amount to be distributed. So made nutritious choices, you ate right. There we go. That's what it is. And a historic Indian city is Agra, where you might find the Taj Mahal. Language from which we get Kashmir, Sanskrit. There we go. So what was this? Kyle's little brother on South Park. Okay, that'll be the character Ike. And then itty bitty. I think this might be the end. No, it isn't. It isn't. We still got these. Colorado's Estes Park. I think I might only knew this through crosswords. But there we go. It's a place in Colorado. And a roast rostrum. A dais. So you might roast a comedian of whom you're a friend, and you might they might be seated on a dais while you address them. Nickname that drops knee. Sid, I guess Sydney. Yep, there we go. So this will be the end. Yes. And that was the Sunday crossword. There we go. I mean, oh, look at this. We've got our turntables spinning around. Very good. And let's see. Are they all clockwise? No, they're not. I thought, yeah, they were different. I remember now. Yes. For instance, comic strip was anti-clockwise, counterclockwise. So there we go. We've got our spin classes theme. Very good, with an appropriately spinning set of squares in the grid now. Well, circles inside squares. And, squares inside circles, inside squares, I guess, to be more accurate. And letters inside squares, inside circles, inside squares. And there we go. We have Why Do I Bother? Empty spaces, comic strip, quintillion, brief summary, and Zagat rated. And we've got the other ones that cross them, of course. I'm not going to read all of those, but that's very clever. So we have our spin classes. We have our classes of bio, biology, psychology, sci for science, art for art, muse for music, and lit for literature. And there we go. Very nice. That was a very good idea, and it was well telegraphed in the grid. I think when I opened the grid, I thought, okay, I think I know what this is going to do. And I did from a purely mechanical sense, but then there was this entirely additional themed element that I hadn't thought about whatsoever, which was the spin classes pun. So very good. And it's interesting that it only highlights the first half of these words. That's strange. It might be a mistake. I don't know why that would be the case. Oh, and then lion, I think I might not have looked at. Animal in the Premier League logo. Yes, there we go. The English Premier League has a lion in its logo. And then nursery rhyme name that said twice in a row, Mary. So Mary, Mary, quite contrary. And poet Hughes, Ted Hughes, there we go. English poet, and then yeah, nails aces we saw. So we saw most of. Well, I saw some of them. I skipped some because I was looking at the larger theme clues. But anyway, there we go. That was it. That was our course correction spin classes puzzle. I think that was really nice. Let me know how you fared with this one. And I'll be back tomorrow for the Monday crossword, quicker, faster, smaller, themed crossword. So do join me then. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.